Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special video. Today is yet another collaboration video with my dearest friend here on YouTube, and that is Coralie. I link her channel in the description box below for you guys. She's so good with her videos. She does a lot of decluttering. She does a lot of like new makeup content on her channel. I would highly request you guys to go over her channel, give her some love, tell her that Smithy sent you over, and I absolutely love her as a person. I generally do talk to her on a very regular basis, and I feel like if you are like more of a lighter skin tone, she would give you a great amount of spectrum on how these look on a lighter skin tone. She's an absolute fanatic like me in the eyeshadow department, I would say. So anything new in the industry, you'll find it in Coralie's stash. Like, I guarantee you that. So I and Coralie decided on bringing a video to you guys by talking about our top 7 multichrome that I could find in my collection or what she could find in her collection. And we are going to choose our top 7 multichromes. Mine is right here. And we're going to create like 7 looks. And I'm not going to do it for seven days, but I'm going to show you 7 looks using each and every multichrome, how dimensional and how beautiful it looks on the eyes itself. So I'm really excited. I thank you so much, Coralie, for collabing with me on this. I feel like you need some like excitement back in your life. I wanted some color back in my life. I wanted to test out some multichromes, and you'll see it in my video. Like, do you need to spend your hard-earned money on these single eyeshadows? And Coralie has like a huge collection of eyeshadows and single eyeshadows. She loves her indie makeup, so I'm pretty sure she would have a lot of single eyeshadows that she has to choose from. I found my most special multichromes in the palettes. I have 2 exceptions from a single eyeshadow from Cliona, but otherwise rest all of them were from like indie palettes, which I was amused and shocked, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. So if you're ready to see which are my top 7 multichromes, then please keep on watching. Okay, so for using all these 7 multichromes, I'm going to dip into just one palette, and that is going to be my Blend Bunny Cosmetics Primal palette. And I want to show you, like, if you have like one colorful palette, how you can combine like various multichromes just with one matte palette and like create so many beautiful looks. So yeah, let's begin. I actually do have like my bronzer across my crease. I had to go somewhere. That's the only thing that I have on my eyes, but just disregard that. We are gonna play with lots of different colors. Let's first build our crease. For that, first I'm gonna dip into this shade, which is Warning, which is this hot pink shade, and super pigmented. I'm gonna build that mainly on my lid, I would say, and then blend it down my crease. But I definitely want that pink background on my eye. And I'm taking a big fluffy brush just so that it's not like too much of the pigment right like in the beginning. So once we have like that wash of pink on our eyelid, we're going to move into this Untamed shade, which is that orange. Tap off the excess, and this we're going to build on the crease. I'm going to dip into this Huntress shade with that Warning shade, and then just build out my outer corners, just to get it a little more punch on the eyes. I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line too. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, and then I'm just going to take that Untamed shade, the orange, and just build the inner crease, just so that there is a transition of like orange to pink. And apply the same shade on my lower lash line too. Now for the multichrome, we are going to dip into the Cliona Cosmetics shadow, and this is called Torch. This is how it looks. Let me give you a swatch too, so that you can see it like in a swatch how dimensional it is. So this is Torch. Like, look at that. Can you see that hot pink to orange to gold? It's really pretty. So let's apply that. So I'm gonna lightly tap my fingers in it. I don't want to like rub into it just because this is very, very gentle. Can you see that multichrome coming through? It's a pink to an orange flip, and that's the main reason why I use those shades on my lid too. And oh my god, look at that. It's fiery, it's dimensional, and it's just wonderful. I'm just gonna pat it on top of my eyes. So pretty. Love it. I'm just gonna take the Rome shade and place that as my inner corner shade, or take any highlighter that you have in your collection and just place that. I'm just going to take the same shadow that I used on my lid as the inner corner shade. That is it. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that's my first multichrome torch from Clionadh Cosmetics. Now let's move on to the next eye, and the multichrome that we are going to use is another one from Clionadh Cosmetics, and it is going to be Royalty. I am a purple person, so I need this. I absolutely need to mention this. Like, I love this shade. So let me swatch this and then we'll start building up the eyeshadow. I really hope that you can see that shift. Look at that. And I'll give you a close-up of all these swatches in the outside lighting too, so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension. So pretty. So let's put this baby on our eyes. I'm going to start with the shade called Poisonous. This beautiful purple shade. Tap off the excess. I'm going to start building it in the inner corners. Don't worry about the blending. We'll definitely do that later. We'll handle that later. First, let's just build that eyeshadow. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into any skin tone powder. And I'm actually taking my Wet n Wild contouring palette. And I'm just going to go over the edges and just blend that out. It looks a little patchy right now, right? I don't know what's the deal with that. Is that my eye primer or what? Because I've never had problems with this palette before. So, okay, let's move on to building up this eyeshadow. I'm going to take this shade, which is Instinct. And this is a deeper purple shade. More like a purple blue, I would say. And I'm going to start building this on the outer corners. You know for a fact it's going to be smoky. There's no doubt about it. We're going to dip into ink and build that lower lash line. And I'm also going to dip into this exotic shade also for my lower lash line. Now I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Toxin, this hot green shade. And I'm going to start building that in my inner corner and blend it around the edges of that purple. Just like that. And I'm only focusing this mainly on the inner corners, I would say. And you'll see why. I'm going to take this lavender shade, which is Mimic. And just on the center, I'm just going to blend the edges with it. Nothing much. It's looking super smoky, I know that, but we're gonna cover this up with a multichrome, so don't you worry. I'm gonna take that NYX glitter glue, just place it on the back of my hand and just take that with my finger, place it all across my eyelid just for a tacky base. I'm gonna take that shade Royalty and I'm gonna place that right in the center of my eyelid. and then go across all of my eyelid with this shade. More surface you cover, more shifts in dimensions you would see with this shade. I really hope that you can see that. Just like that. Now I'm finishing off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And this is my second eye look with the multichrome shade Royalty from Clionadh Cosmetics. Now these were the two multichromes that I wanted to talk from Clionadh Cosmetics. Now let's move on to the third eye look. Okay, now let's move on to the next multichrome shade that I want to talk about. The next multichrome shade is from the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. And we're going to talk about this shade, which is called Trick. Yes, this is so special and so beautiful for a neutral lover. Like, you need to see the shifts in the dimension. It is so pretty. Like, it definitely has that orange, but golden, but bronze all in it. It's so nice and dimensional. I mean, yeah, you definitely can see that pink and the orange and like bronze, right? Oh my God, it's so nice. I had to mention this. Let's move on to the next shadow. Now, all of these shadows that I'm going to talk about is from Sugar Drizzle. And I love their palettes, and for a reason, because they do some beautiful, beautiful shadows. So the next eyeshadow palette that I'm going to talk is from MILF palette. And the two multichromes that I want to mention is Hop Along and MILF. So let's watch that. You can see that Hop Along shade in MILF. It just changes its color in the pan itself. Like, it's so pretty. Like, look at that. This is Hop Along and this is MILF. Like, can you see that shift? And they do multichromes so beautiful. Next is also from Sugar Drizzle, but from the Trick Raw Treat palette. So let's do that too. Next is Raptor Candy. This green to gold to red shifting shade. Look at that. And then, yes, I have to mention this, which is a Trick Raw Treat. And this just transforms your look wherever you put it. Like, depending on the matte, it'll just take over that matte that you put and it'll change the dimension altogether. So those are the next four multichromes that we're going to talk about. Hop Along, MILF. Oh my God. Raptor Candy and Trick Raw Treat. And those are the 7 multichromes that I wanted to share with you guys. If you have these 7 shades, I mean, you have like a great amount of dimension that you can achieve from the multichrome industry, I would say. And this is the main reason why I wanted to do this video, is just because you don't need to invest in like single shadows. I believe that some of the palettes from these indie brands do give us those like multichromes in such a beautiful way that you do not need to like spend your hard-earned money on like buying like a $22 like a single shadow. If there are like those special shades, I will definitely mention it to you guys. I know a brand who's gonna release like super multichromes. Those are really, really pretty. It takes a lot for me to not mention that brand right now, but I think they deserve a totally different video for that matter. I really, really love the multichromes that they're going to come out with, because that is like the whole spectrum of the rainbow captured in like one eyeshadow. It's so pretty. But for now, I would say this gives you a lot of the spectrum in the multichrome industry, and I feel like this is good enough. Like, this is really, really good enough to achieve like different dimension on your eyes. And I feel like this, it's so pretty. Like, at least from my collection, these are the best of the best that I could find, and I just wanted to mention my top 7 multichromes to you guys. So yeah, let's move on to the third eye look. I'm gonna take the shade Exotic right now, and I'm gonna put that. I'm going to start off with my outer corners. There would be residue from like the previous eye look. Ignore that. I'm going to take Exotic, build up the outer corners, and then start blending it into my crease. And this shade is like definitely one of my favorite shades of this palette, so I definitely had to use it. You know what we should do? We should actually build the same bases on both the eyes and use two different multichromes, and I'll show you how it looks. How about we do that? So I'm going to take the shade Exotic on this eye too, build the outer corners and start blending it into my crease. And I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line too. It quickly escalated. Now once we have that base shade all blended out, I'm going to take another shade, and that is going to be Lethal, this maroon shade, and I'm going to build that in the outer corners. It's definitely deeper than Exotic that we used earlier, but you slowly have to build it. And then to further deepen it up, I'm going to take this shade, which is Soil, mixed with this shade Nocturnal, and then just tap it right in the edges. And that will give like a great amount of depth that we are looking for. I'm going to repeat the same thing on my other eye, and I'll get right back. Okay, the next multichrome that we're going to use is this shade, which is Trick. And you can see that pink and that bronze and that gold coming through. So let's use that. It's such a beautiful shade. And for like a neutral lover, I feel like this can do wonders. Like, look at that. So pretty. And you can see the dimension. I mean, seriously. I'm going to take the same shade on my inner corners too. Actually, let's use the other multichrome on the other eye, and then I'll finish off the eyes with some liner and mascara. But for the other eye, I'm going to take this shade, which is Hop Along from the MILF palette from Sugar Drizzle. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. So you'll see, like with the same base, but with different multichromes, how it just transforms the look. One is definitely more like daytime, more bright, and the other one is definitely more smoky, but both super beautiful. Come on, come on. Let me finish off the eyes with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. So this is my third eye look with the eyeshadow Trick from Gourmand Girl's Spooked palette. And you can see how dimensional it is. It has some pink, some gold, some bronze. Really a neutral eye look, but with so much dimension. And this is the eyeshadows Hop Along from Sugar Drizzle MILF palette. It has some purple, teal, magenta, super, super pretty. Now let's move on to the next eye looks. Okay, for the next eye look, I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Camouflage. It's a beautiful earthy green shade. I'm going to take that on my outer corners. I'm also going to blend that into my crease, but a very light layer, like whatever is left in the brush, that's what I'm going to blend it into my crease. I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line too. I'm going to do the same thing on my other eye too. The only thing that I'll change for this eye is basically I'm going to take the same brush, I'm going to dip into this shade, which is a Ray, which is that yellow shade. And I'm going to take that on my inner corner and blend it with that green. And for this eye, I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Ink And I'm gonna just deepen out the outer corners of this eye with it. I'm gonna take the NYX Glitter Glow and I'm just gonna put that wherever my lid space is blank. Now we have the tacky base on the eyelid. Now let's move on to the multichromes. For this eye, I'm going to take this shade, which is MILF from the palette. It's a beautiful green to blue duochrome. I'm going to put that right there. Look how beautiful and smooth it is. Really pretty. And for the other eye, the multichrome that I'm going to use is Raptor Candy, this one. Such a pretty shade. Let's take that. Let me finish off these eyes with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. This is my fifth eye look. It's a very beautiful multichrome that we use from MILF palette and the shade is called MILF. And I love the way how it shifts from like that gold to green to a blue. I really love that. This is my sixth eye look. And this is from the Sugar Drizzle Trick Raw Treat palette and the shade is called Raptor Candy. And I love the way how it shifts from like a gold to a red to a green. Really pretty. And these are such smooth multichromes. I really love them. Now let's move on to the final look using our Trick Raw Treat shade from the Trick Raw Treat palette. I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Luna. I'm going to tap that right in the inner third. It basically looks like a white and my skin tone. So I mean, I don't know. And I'm then going to take the shade Rome and towards the outer crease. And now basically I'm going to intensify these shades like green and pink together. So I'm going to take this shade, which is Toxin, press it on my inner third. And then I'm going to take this shade, which is Warning, and build the outer corners. First, I'm just going to blend these two together. And then I'll take a more precise brush for my outer corners. I'm just like tapping once, so I'm not picking up a lot of pigment, but slowly building it up. I'm going to take a more precise brush with this Warning shade and then just build out my outer corners. And I'm also going to take that same shade on my lower lash line. Okay, now let's dip into our multichrome shade, which is Trick Raw Treat, this one. I already did apply my NYX glitter glue towards the center of my eyelid. I'm just going to place that right there. Mainly concentrating on the center and then just blending it outwards on either side. It's easier to blend it with our fingers. It's quicker and easier. So let's do that. Let's finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back for the final look. And that's my final eye look. And this is such a beautiful multichrome, I would say. It totally reflects like green, blue, pink, even a tint of like purple. It's really pretty. I have used this over like a deep dark purple eyeshadow, which it looks completely different. And now it looks like more like airy just because I've used like pastel shades on my eyes. I really love the way how this like transforms the eye look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed all the 7 looks that I created for you guys. I cannot wait to see what Coralie has picked up for her 7 multichromes. So do head over to her channel as soon as you finish with my video. Let's move on to the swatches of all these 7 multichromes multichromes in the outside lighting too, so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension and the speciality of these eyeshadows. I love the way it shifts. I love how dimensional it is. I love multichromes, and indie makeup does it the best. Like, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed all my 7 looks that I created for you guys and all the 7 multichromes that I chose for you guys. But before leaving, let me give you a small reminder. If you guys are not subscribed to me and Coralie, and if you do like this indie makeup content or any eyeshadow makeup content, I would say, do subscribe to both of our channels before leaving and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!